Hello, beautiful beings of light. I'm doing a message today that I'm extremely passionate about right now. And the title of this video is going to be, You've been put into a box to break out of it. You've been put into a box to break out of it. And I don't mean a physical box, obviously, but it is a physical box. It is a box. We've been boxed in, imprisoned in some way. The entire reality as we knew it to be has changed. And we are living in a now moment that is very uncertain and chaotic. And I am having a very difficult time lately, even going on social media, because the viewpoints being expressed are so myopic. And the best way to think of that is, and I got my little binoculars that sit in my windowsill in my kitchen so that I can see what birds are hanging out there. But it's, the views that are being expressed are very myopic. They're very, focused in one single direction. And we all like to be validated. That's human. We all want, if we feel something and we express that energetically or, on a social media platform through the things that we share, we like to go on there and have our beliefs reaffirmed. But this is not a time to have your beliefs reaffirmed. You are being condensed, okay? You're being condensed down and put under pressure so that you can expand, so that your consciousness can expand. And we are moving from, as I've said in my other videos, from a third to a fourth density. And in doing so, we're changing our awareness, because a 3D or a 4D reality is only a point of perception. So we're changing our point of perception from being separate and apart to the understanding that we are all connected. And we can no longer, look away from the things that we may disagree with or that doesn't validate what our viewpoint is. That's like looking at a rainbow and only seeing one color. Okay? We are meant to, at this time, with childlike curiosity, open our awareness, expand our consciousness, look at all the different colors of the rainbow. And then once that spectrum has been broadened, bring that back in and go within and find what resonates for us. But we can't find what resonates for us if we're still viewing ourselves as separate from everything else. We can't look away anymore from the truths that we don't like to see. And just because you don't agree with someone else doesn't mean that you can separate yourself from it, because that aspect of that human is also an aspect of you. And you can't say out of fear, right, that the ends justify the means. So you may not agree, with people going out and protesting. You may not agree with that based on your beliefs, but what are their beliefs? And why do they believe that? And versus this polarity of your beliefs and why you believe it. And where are you getting your information? This is not a time where we should just be taking, the information we receive and saying, oh, yep, that's true. Why is it true? We need to be critically thinking. We need to be with childlike curiosity and not to get attached to any one idea or belief, not to become attached to it or let it scare you, but simply to expand your vision of awareness. Okay? You're in a critical time in your life, and anything that you exchange energy with, okay, has a motive and an agenda and personal beliefs and biases, and most people are receiving a paycheck for what they're saying. So if you are watching a screen, and I saw this somewhere and it really resonated with me. Okay, they television is telling you a vision. It's telling you a vision. So anything you're exchanging information with is telling you a vision. I'm telling you a vision right now. And we need to be asking ourselves, who is telling us this vision? If you're listening to someone and it resonates with you, and you feel that seems like it could be a version of a truth that goes along with your belief system, then you need to ask yourself, who is this person telling me this vision? What are their biases? What is their agenda? Do they have an agenda? Who's paying them? Who owns the company? Okay, we need to critically think and expand our awareness. Do you want to be a part of a platform where there are individuals that are being removed simply because they don't share the same vision you do? Do you want to be exchanging information with platforms that aren't allowed to speak about certain topics? Do you think the ends justify the means? That there are human beings right now that are being beaten and tased and locked up, and really horrible atrocities are happening. And if you haven't seen that, are you afraid to look? Are you saying that's not you? That's not my country. That's not where I live. It has nothing to do with me. What are your beliefs? Where do you stand? And are you standing for self-preservation, or are you standing for unity consciousness? So I had said in a video I did a few videos back that all of the truths are true, and they are all true based on the beliefs that the individuals that are holding those truths are holding. And they all are thought forms. So you'll know whether your truth is myopic in nature if that's the only thing you're hearing. And I'm not here to tell you one truth or another. I'm really not. But I will tell you that I have been expanding my awareness to all truth. And what is coming into my energetic field is many different versions of a truth. To start with, you have to ask yourself, is there a virus? And if there is a virus, how did that virus begin? How did it start? Did it start in a lab? Is it due to 5G? And what is 5G? Was it a bioweapon? And if it was a bioweapon, what would the advantage of that be? What is the outcome of that? Is it something totally different? Was it an accident? Who are telling you these things? What are their agendas? What vision are they telling you? What does it mean for you? What does it mean for humanity? What benefit do they have in telling you these things? And if there is a virus, then how do we test for that virus? How are the tests being made? What does a test encompass? What is the process of that testing? Who needs to be tested? Who doesn't need to be tested? Does anyone need to be tested? And so on and so forth. But to only reaffirm the same thing that everyone else is reaffirming, okay, is only tapping into one little thought form or one little cloud. And therefore, you're only viewing one color of the rainbow. And the idea of being put into a box, okay, being compressed down, is to expand from that. And ultimately, and I could sit here and tell you this is what, I've been watching, or this is what, you should go watch, but that is a personal journey for every human being to explore with critical thinking, with childlike curiosity, all the different aspects of the now moment that we're experiencing at this very critical time for our planet, and I am not just, on a personal level, just looking at one aspect of things. I'm looking at, the polarity, the shadow, and the light. I'm reading books from, 30, 40 years ago, and I'm listening to people in the now. I'm being directed where to go in any now moment with the journey and the line of thinking and the information that's coming into my awareness. And it's growing exponentially by the day. Quite recently, over the last few days, I've been doing directed to do a lot of obtain knowledge on quantum physics and the many worlds theory and some others. And you will be guided, okay? You will be guided as to where to go on this journey. But if you're sitting in the box, in your physical box, in this, 3D reality, this flux reality, and you're doing the same things you've always done, you're watching the same things you've always watched, you're listening to the same things you're always listening to, then you're just sitting in the box. You're just sitting there with your arms crossed and you're waiting. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And who are you waiting for? Because during this, critical time, we all have the opportunity to expand our consciousness and tap into so many fascinating things. So many fascinating things. And it's going to, it will inevitably cause deep feelings to be invoked. Things that we need to look at. But, ultimately it's serving our evolution as individuals and as a collective. And that's exciting. And that is exciting. So I hope that helps. If there's anybody out there that, would like to know, where could they go, or they don't know where to begin, and they have specific questions, or they're feeling guided to go, okay, how do I learn about this aspect of it, or how do I learn about this aspect of it? I would be, just message me and I'd be happy to share, what's worked for me. But I'm not, I thought about, sharing some of the things that, have been really expanding my consciousness, but I don't really feel like that would serve anyone in doing so, because I know that the things that have been coming into my awareness and the thought forms that I've been tapping into are, what are serving me in my journey in this now moment, which may not be the right thing for you to be. But if you have a specific question, like I want to learn more about, angels, or I'm interested in, light beings or the Palladians, or, who do you listen to? Or, I've heard a lot about this New World Order or 5G, or I've heard about, whatever aspect of it is. If it's something that's, that I've delved into on so far on my journey, I'd be absolutely happy to share that with someone. But yeah, how many colors of the rainbow are you tapping into right now? And are you limiting yourself? I guess that's the other thing. Like, are you limiting yourself by being so myopic? And in these times where it's crucial that we understand who we are exchanging energy with and who is telling us a vision, that we know all there is to know about that. I have nothing to gain from this. I'm not being paid. I'm not, gaining from this. Is my mission, and this is what I've been called to do. And that's why I'm here making this video today, because it's part of my mission here on this planet, to share the knowledge and the information that I've gleaned with anyone that is called to my particular frequency. But it doesn't mean that everyone out there is operating from that point of view. And it is exciting. It is exciting to have, just so much more open to you. Just, so much more opens to you when you learn to become aware, but not attach yourself. And don't get me wrong, I've had some moments during this whole process where I have been totally pulled in to some of the, darker aspects of the truth of, this now moment. And I've had to look at that. And ask myself, okay, what am I truly afraid of? And, all of us are going to be asking ourselves that over and over and over again during this process. Because, ultimately it's about dropping the fear and moving into a place of love and joy and inspiration and passion and creativity. And getting there is sometimes a difficult process. It's like you're, being compressed in to, ultimately become that diamond. And we're all doing that right now. All of us. In our own ways, in our own time, we are all, moving in the same direction. And we are all part of each other, whether we agree or not. We are all connected. We are all part of one unified source. And we can't look away anymore just because we don't like it or we don't agree. We all deserve the same basic human rights as everyone else. All of us. So I hope that helps. Love, light, and blessings to all of you. Bye.